Hi guys, my name is Mrs. Biddle, and I would like to take a moment to talk to you before you watch this very powerful video on drinking and driving. The girl that you're going to see's name was Laura Michelle Welborne. She was the pacesetter captain here at Pierce and went to Pierce from 1992 until 1994. Her graduation date should have been May of 1995, but she didn't make it there. I was one of the lucky people because I was one of Laura's best friends. Being best friends with Laura was like being best friends with the world. She encompassed life. She was always happy. She was always having fun. And one night, she made the horrible choice to get into the car with her boyfriend, and he had been drinking too much. You'll see video footage of a car, and it is mangled and horrible. And I drove up and I saw that car firsthand, and I watched as they took my best friend's body out of that car and put it in a body bag. I will never forget waking up in the middle of the night. My dad came to get me and said, "There's been an accident and you need to come with me." The first thing I thought is it had to be my boyfriend, because at that time people made horrible choices. People drank, people drove, and people just let it happen. When I got downstairs and I had kind of gained a little bit of consciousness of being woken from a deep sleep, he told me again that it was Laura. Laura had been in an accident and we needed to go. At some point he told me she died, but I didn't remember it. And as we were pulling up on Alpha Road, right at Hillcrest, I knew something was wrong. And I said, "How bad is it, Dad?" And he said, "Honey, she died. It's really bad." And I opened the door, and everything became a dream after that. It was homecoming weekend. Had a dress, was ready. We never made it to homecoming that year. We came up to Pierce, and there's a tree in the front of the school on Senior Way. It has a plaque to remember Laura. And that night we all sat around that tree and we held hands and we remembered our friend who wasn't there with us. And we wear the color purple because it was Laura's favorite color, and she was beautiful in purple. That entire year for me was a dream or a nightmare. Everything that should have been wonderful wasn't. If it hadn't been for two teachers at this school, I don't think I would have made it through. Losing a friend, and losing a friend when you could have done something, you should have done something to stop it, is something that I hope no one ever has to go through. I say that I should have done something to stop it because I was with Laura and her boyfriend Wade before then. I should have told her, "Don't go, come with me. Don't drink, come with me." Not because that was something different, but just because I should have said something else, and I didn't. And I don't know what would have happened. In the video you're going to see Laura's sisters say the same thing. What would happen if you encourage somebody to make a different choice and make a better choice? Homecoming is different now. We know you guys all take buses. You don't drive. This wasn't homecoming night, guys. It was the Friday night before the game. It was during the game. It was after the game. You need to make smart choices, and you need to encourage your friends to make smart choices. This year, the long weekend marks the 18th year that I won't see my best friend. It also marks the time that Laura and I had a birthday that was 4 days apart, and we had planned an amazing birthday party. I didn't celebrate my 18th birthday because Laura wasn't there. So many moments of your life you think, maybe if I had done something different, what would change? I want you guys to remember on homecoming weekend, on every weekend, make the right choices, make the smart choices, and if you can't make them for yourself, hope and really pray that you have a friend that can make them for you. And listen to your friends. Let your friends be your voice. Be brave enough to be the difference and be brave enough to make the change. My daughters, this weekend they'll be wearing purple at the homecoming game to remind you guys that you need to remember Laura and you need to remember a life that was cut way too short, and we don't want to lose any of you. So please be smart and remember that this video is a true story. It rocked this community, and we never want anything like that to happen again. Thank you.
Next week, varsity cheerleaders will be selling Richardson Rivalry game t-shirts outside the cafeteria for $15. Get there early because t-shirts sold out on Thursday last year.
Well, we've had a lot of fun this week.
We hope you have too.
But we want to leave you with this sobering message that reminds us all about the danger of drinking and driving, with a look back to homecoming, October 8th, 1994.
Closer to home tonight, a high school drill team captain in Richardson dies in a car crash just hours after performing at a homecoming celebration. As Phil Alvarado reports, police suspect the driver, her boyfriend, was drinking.
Homecoming at Pierce High School, and center stage in a red sequin hat, drill team captain 17-year-old Laura Welborne lives a dream she's had since the 3rd grade. Laura's dream was shattered on a rain-slick street as her boyfriend drove her home from a homecoming party. Laura died at the scene. Her boyfriend, 18-year-old William McFarland, was arrested for involuntary manslaughter.
It's obvious by looking at this shot here that this is what is left, or the remains of a vehicle, and as we can see, there are few remains. The vehicle just kind of collapses from this point. And here the passenger seat. This obviously is the seat back, and this is the seat bottom where you normally sit.
To the scene, they had the road blocked off, and there were fire trucks and ambulance, and the fire department firemen were there and police were there. And so we got out of the car, my wife jumped out before the car even stopped, and it was just, you knew it was really, really bad because the information from the police department, they wouldn't tell you a whole lot, and the fire department wouldn't tell you a whole lot. And as we got closer and closer and the flares were across the road, you knew it was very, very serious.
I just ran as fast as I could towards the lights, and then there was a policeman there who stopped me, and he told me that I wanted to know who I was, and I told him that, you know, I thought my daughter was in the car accident, and I wanted to know if she'd been taken to the hospital, and he said no. And then I asked him if she was okay. He said no.
Thought a lot of him and got in the car and thought everything would be all right, because I understand that that's happened before and everything was all right. All our friends basically did the same thing, so it wasn't anything
So many times.
out of the ordinary.
We would be upstairs watching TV and the same thing would happen. She would get a call and want to go out, and lots of times I would say, Laura, just stay here with me and, you know, watch this movie or whatever. And it was such a normal night that I didn't know that I would never see her again.
I still didn't believe it until I got here and I saw people and talked to people, and sometimes I still don't believe it. But I know it happened, and that was just the worst call I'll ever get.
To be drinking, having a good time, driving, and not thinking one thing about it. Just getting in the car and going. People do it all the time.
And we'll always, you know, wonder why that happened. Why did she get in the car? Why would he drive drunk at such a high rate of speed? And it happens all the time, I know. And, you know, tragic thing happened to my youngest sister. That's been the hardest thing for me, because she was only 17 and I think I'm 24 and I consider myself young, but I think back, 17, it's so young.
You know, you just go home and you just don't even know what to do, because all of a sudden your life is so perfect, and then you come home and it's just completely empty.
It's on a sheet of paper. It's a real human being that laughed and cried and had goals and aspirations, and they died young, needlessly, from a senseless, stupid act.
I would hate to have another mother have to go through what I'm going through. And I think sometimes teenagers, they just don't think it'll happen to them.
There was not a day went by, even if we were mad, that I didn't tell her I loved her.
Part of our family's gone. And she's gone forever. And it's so sad. I mean, I have to wake up every morning and just tell myself before I get up that she's not here. I just have to remind myself that Laura is gone.
From all of us at the Mustang Morning News, have a happy and safe homecoming. I'm Corey Egan.
And I'm Leslie Clements.